Okay, so if you can hear me, we're going to try reconnecting. There we go. We're going to try and reconnect Wi-Fi when we have an opportunity right now. We're so sorry for the problem. It's a weak signal where we're trying to do this. So, uh, but yeah, it's the time for the daily dose. It's May 22nd. It's actually the day before now, so hopefully we can. How's the sound? Hopefully everything's okay.
Do you guys have strong Wi-Fi here, or your cell is? The cell signal here is.
Yeah.
Do
you have Wi-Fi here in the house?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, okay, I'm going to try and connect to Wi-Fi right now. Hold on just
Please
a second,
stand
everyone.
by.
Stand by.
You could probably get your Wi-Fi signal probably can come out here.
It's JV Wi-Fi.
Wow.
So sorry about that. Okay, we're now on Wi-Fi, so let's go ahead and come on down here. Hope everyone's doing okay. Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of the Daily Dose of Disney. Just have to pull up my notes here. There we go.
Okay, there we go.
Beautiful blue sky here in Napa today. Remember that scene from Soarin' Over California when it played at Epcot? Yeah,
We're here.
That's where we are. We're in Napa.
In a residential community that we drove through, the beautiful
vineyards right by. It's just very pretty today.
It's pretty here in California.
So we're going to make this a real quick one since we are being hosted by a very, very dear friend.
Going back circa 2010.
Yeah, at least
10 years.
At least 10 years. So anyway, I want to just say hi to everyone. Hello, Cherie. Welcome into the stream. Good to have you here. Oh, yeah, Candy Mom, her Wi-Fi's acting up. And thank you, Mike. Yeah, please hold still this brief interruption at this time.
Yeah, don't make everybody sick, because when you feel like you're going live, everybody like jostles us.
So everyone, thank you so much. Let's go ahead and start with, let's go in the Wayback Machine to 1946. Actually, 217 days until Christmas right now. It's National Vanilla Pudding Day. So if you've got vanilla pudding in the cupboard, have yourself a cup, celebrate the day. Let's take the Wayback Machine to 1946. On this day, the movie Pinocchio was released in France. That's right. That was because of the war effort that was going on. A lot of the movie venues were closed because of World War II. They finally were able to release Pinocchio in France in 1946 on this day.
When was it originally released?
It was originally released in 1940.
Oh, that's right.
Second film in Walt Disney's animated canon, but unfortunately, because of World War II, they couldn't release them throughout Europe.
Yeah.
But they were finally able to do that. So let's move forward.
Chairs are very bouncy.
Yeah, let's move forward a few years here to 1955. On this day in 1955, May 22nd, ABC Television Network, they had been hosting the Disneyland television show on Wednesday nights since October of 1954. So in 1955, camera crews were starting to practice at Disneyland on property. This is 2 months ahead of the opening day schedule, but on this day they started the practice because live programs like what they were doing for July 17th were just unheard of. Multiple cameras. It was very complicated.
And the park was not even finished. It had more construction.
There was construction everywhere. They had to do so much work to get this done. So they were doing a lot of practice to make sure that broadcast happened correctly. They still had problems, but you know what? Hindsight.
Hey, it worked. Now it's one of the most popular places in the world.
It sure is. We love the happiest place on earth.
Big fan. My shirt.
1968, on this day, the Walt Disney Travel Company was incorporated in Florida.
Really? It goes back that far?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
That's the company that handles all of your vacation needs when you travel to the Magic Kingdom and to the Walt Disney World Resort.
We're not drinking wine right now.
No,
we just got
wine.
Here.
No wine, just water right now. Maybe we'll turn the water into wine a little later. We'll see what happens. Let's see. Company worked with travel agents and individuals planning all vacations to Walt Disney World. It wasn't until 1972, and 4 years later, they started working for Disneyland as well. Yep, Disneyland, Kelly, Disneyland. Absolutely love Disneyland. Okay, let's move forward to 1987. On this day, this was a television show, The Magical World of Disney. Of course, this was an ongoing television show that had changed, bounced around from the various networks. Hello, Mama Mouse. Welcome in. And Ben, thank you for being here too.
Yeah.
It was the 50th anniversary this year for Snow White, and the Magical World of Disney actually ran an episode called Disney's Golden Anniversary of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Kind of a cute concept. Dick Van Dyke hosted the event, and apparently the dwarfs wanted to retire. But Dick Van Dyke talked them out of it by telling them interesting facts about the movie, and they showed deleted scenes and they sang songs from the film, so forth. But
I don't remember that.
yeah, I don't remember it either. I've never seen that episode.
That was in 1987.
You know, yeah, we're talking 33 years ago. It's a long time ago. So
July of 1987, I went to Disneyland for the first time. I was 13.
yeah, that was.
I never looked back. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been 33 years now since I've been to the House of Mouse.
Now here's something that was very close to Doug's heart. 1996. On this day, the Disney Store opened on Fifth Avenue in New York City. First time that this location had been there, and it set a couple records that day. One, it was the largest Disney store to date, and then they set an all-time record for single day volume in any Disney store around the world. And it was at that location on this day in 1996. That store then shut down about 10 years later
And went
for
to a World.
remodeling, and it was remodeled to a World of Disney. So it became the third location for World of Disney in the world. Of course, the other two were at Walt Disney World's Downtown
And
Disney.
That got shut down, and,
And
now
then
they're on
it's
Times Square.
Downtown Disney, also in California at Anaheim. So yeah, it's that location on Fifth Avenue is no longer open. It's now the Disney Store once again, no longer World of Disney, and it's in Times Square. Apparently, it's a fantastic location.
I haven't been there.
2 years later, 1998. This is a day that I was at Disneyland
I
for
was
the
there.
official unveiling of the new Tomorrowland. Yeah, I cannot believe it, the new Tomorrowland. Things like Rocket Rods, Red Rocket's Pizza Port, which was a restaurant that took the location of Mission to Mars. They had some kind of display called the NASA Space Experience. I remember that. Waste of space.
Oh, stupid.
It's like they couldn't think of anything to do, so they just threw that in there. Then they also brought over from Epcot, Honey, I Shrunk the Audience. And then one last thing they did was, instead of having the rocket jets over the entrance of what was then the Rocket Rods, before it had been the People Mover, they put something there called the Observatron. It was just a kinetic sculpture using pieces from the former rocket jets. And then they did the Astro Orbiter in the front of Tomorrowland, thereby destroying traffic flow into the land itself. Horrible idea. I don't know why they did that.
I don't know either.
And then they put in the French fry rocks there too, of course, and that was an absolute disaster. Hi, Noah. Welcome in. Thanks for being here. So that was in 1998. And shoot, that was that same weekend that Alex Trebek had a show on television that he hosted for the opening of the new Tomorrowland. Yeah, I remember that.
It was a great time. Great time.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. 2005 on this day. Like I've said in the past, I don't usually talk about births and deaths unless they're really significant. And in this case, it's definitely someone significant. I'm sure you've heard of a gentleman by the name of Thurl Ravenscroft. He was a voice actor. Huge actor for Disney.
They're great.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He was Tony the Tiger.
He was Tony the Tiger.
But he was very involved in the theme parks. He passed away on this day in Fullerton, California, very close to Disneyland.
How crusty was he?
He was 91.
Oh, he was super crusty. Holy cow.
91 years old.
Wow.
At Disneyland, until 2001, you could hear his voice on the Disneyland Railroad. You could also hear him still on the sailing ship Columbia, which sails around the rivers of America, and then doubles as a pirate ship for Fantasmic at night. You can also hear his voice in Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room, both inside and out. Inside the room, he's Fritz the German parrot.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
Outside, He's the voice of Tongaroa, father of all gods and goddesses. So
He did a lot of voices.
he did a lot of voices. He also did parts of the Caribbean. And he was one of the grim grinning ghosts in Haunted Mansion. He appears as one of the singing busts as you're going through the graveyard. Sir Earl Ravenscroft on this day passed away at the age of 91 in 2005.
And right next to Disneyland, Fullerton.
Yeah.
I didn't know you lived there so close.
I know.
I didn't know he was a California guy.
Finally, a couple things happened in the year 2015. On this day, the movie Tomorrowland opened.
I like Tomorrowland.
I loved the movie Tomorrowland. Unfortunately, it didn't do too well at the box office. It was directed by Brad Bird. Brad Bird, of course, a famous director with Pixar, has done things like The Incredibles. He did some great movies for them.
It was a good movie, but it could have been better.
And then also on this day in 2015, the Diamond Celebration of Disneyland officially kicked off, marking the resort's 60th anniversary. And this was also the day that it officially premiered the Paint the Night Parade. This was the official premiere date. So that is about all I have for this day in
Yeah.
Disney history. Everyone, I'd like the Blue Wrenches, you know who you are. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for the help. And also for those that
I'm
are...
going to take this phone call.
Yeah. He's getting a call from one of our neighbors. So, but you also, the support channels that we have here, we have More Sunshine Please, Two Real Geeks, Rob Fuzz, the Orlando Guy, and D&G Explorers. Don't miss Jim tomorrow. Jim and D&G will be on tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, for a show where Jim is going to discuss films that he just recently saw on Disney Plus. So don't miss him. And Rob Fuzz had to delay his live stream from this week. He ended up having to work as a result. But that's okay. Working's a good thing these days. But everyone, thank you so much for joining us for this edition of the Daily Dose. I'd like to thank my host for having us here in Napa. Thank you so much for everything. Dilly Dilly. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Have a magical evening and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow with another edition of the Daily Dose of Disney at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific.